All right. A guy and his buddies are at a bar. One of them nudges the other two. Hey, see those 3 women over there? Let's go talk to them. So they go over and strike up a conversation, buying them a few drinks. After a while, each of his friends asks one of the women to dance. And he's about to ask the third girl to dance, and he notices, hey, she's in a wheelchair. Of course, she notices that he notices, and they both feel awkward. Not wanting to be a jerk, he says, you want to go out there and show them how it's really done? She smiled and agreed, and they end up having a great time. After a while, both of his friends took off with those respective girls. And back at the table, he asks if his partner has a ride home. Quietly, she shakes her head and says, no. Trying to be nice, he says, no worries, I'll give you a ride. On the ride home, they're laughing and getting along well, and she tells him, I'm really enjoying spending time with you, and I'm not really ready for the night to end just yet. Why don't you pull over at that park over there and we can talk? They pull over and are talking for a while when she suddenly, out of nowhere, just kisses him. I'm sorry. You're just so nice, and I like you. It's perfectly fine, he smiles. Then out of nowhere, she goes, would you like to make love to me? He agrees, and they start going at it, but they realize with her legs, it's kind of hard to do it in the truck. So she thinks and says, you know what? My arms are pretty strong. Why don't you take me over to the monkey bars over there? I can hang and we can do it that way. So they do just that. They go at it, and they finish up pretty quick because it's kind of hot. And he drives her home. After he wheels her to her door, her father comes out. Come here, young man, he says, gesturing him over. Now he's nervous. So worried, he walks over and says, yes, sir? I just wanted to thank you for driving her home. That was damn decent of you. And I haven't seen her smile like that in 10 years. Feeling guilty, the guy goes, well, we had a great time, and I was glad to do it. No, father replies, you don't understand. The last 6 guys just left her hanging in the park. Now, on the surface, this is a perfectly fine joke. The guy in the bar was polite. He didn't pass judgment on the girl because she was in a wheelchair, and he was respectful to her, and he was going to drive her home. It was her idea to stop. It was her idea to kiss, and it was her idea to bang him on a children's playground. By all accounts, this was about as Me Too friendly as a modern sex joke gets. Except that, because all people want to do today is bitch and moan about being offended, the squeakiest wheels in the Me Too brigade can still find things to be offended by. The ones sensitive about sexist humor will claim that she was capable of getting herself home. The ones sensitive about suggestive humor will claim her father slut-shamed her in the punchline. And the ones sensitive about every fucking thing will claim that he set up a scenario for sexual assault because he breathed on, looked at, and shared a physical space with her. Enough already. We here at Needless to Say are avid supporters of the hashtag MeToo. At least those who were able to get justice for past crimes against them. And we always will be. But we're also avid supporters of comedy and humor, however dark it might be. And we don't think everything said, even if it's rough, justifies a fucking uprising. Especially when things are being read into a little too deeply, or when they're misunderstood entirely. All this oversupport is doing is minimizing the true intended effect of the Me Too movement, and burying the issues that really matter. Me Too isn't about being offended, it's about being assaulted. Black Lives Matter isn't about racist jokes, it's about racist beliefs that lead to unspeakable violence. Louis C.K. isn't being ignored and hated because he made jokes about assaulting women. It's because he made the same kinds of jokes after he fucking assaulted them. But as long as people keep making this about their feelings, none of the benefits will truly come to light. This isn't about you. It's about everyone. So stop wasting my time bitching about how your feelings were violated. Feelings don't stop rape and sexual assault, and thicker skin still won't stop bullets or police batons. Tonight, the 3 guys at this table reunite after a few weeks off to discuss the lingering effects of Me Too, not only on jokes, but on how this movement has changed the way we perceive things from popular culture. Spoiler alert. The Breakfast Club isn't nearly as warm and fuzzy as you remember. We're also going to look at some other headlines and make a bunch of jokes about things that might make people uncomfortable, especially those who latch on the causes to make themselves feel better. Also, Mike's here, which is a headline unto itself. So let's start the jokes early. Did you know Mike's first high school football game was a lot like the first time he had sex? He was bloody and sore, but at least his dad came. All right, that was cheap. Let's be more relevant. Hey, Mike, what's the difference between a joke and a pair of stiff dicks? You can't take a joke. Hashtag this, Maestro. Hit my goddamn music.
Welcome back to Needless to Say. I'm Craig. I'm here with Mike and Brad. What's going on, guys? It's been a while.
I was going to say, we're all in the same room?
We're all in the same room together.
What the fuck's going on here?
I know.
It's fucking crazy. But the boys are back.
Yep.
That's it.
It just feels right.
It does.
Oh.
It does. Back in the basement. Everything's good. You know?
Like Rat Whip, still in the basement.
Still in the basement.
cellar.
It's like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after Bill Cosby hit you over the head, drugged you, and ripped them off of you.
But we made a big upgrade today.
Yeah, we did.
Big upgrade to studio basement.
What is that thing anyway? 50, 55?
I don't know. But we got a gigantic plasma screen monitor. I think it's a 50.
Plasma screen.
Yep.
In 2006, this was the tits, man.
This was the tits. Yep.
I'll tell you what, if that was an LED, it would have been dead by now, guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
No, but we got set up. Things are different now. We're doing all right.
Read everything off the fucking wall. That's
Yep.
the best.
Instead of look at Mike squint and hold the fucking paper 9 feet from his face and bring it
Yeah.
close and then put it away.
Yeah,
So
he can't
too
staple
stubborn
the
to wear
screen
glasses.
upside down.
Yeah.
I love that the guy who hates technology the most is the one that gets all of it from the rest of us.
Yeah.
I'm offering him an iPhone earlier, all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
This guy, we're just trying to shoehorn technology down this kid's throat. He just wants nothing to do with it.
Working off a laptop that Craig gave me.
And I'm like, oh,
with the
and I said, we can use my other laptop. And he said, no, I don't use that one. I just got out of the truck. It's been in there for 2 months.
It has been. I'm not lying, dude.
We
It
had to
has
tell
been.
him this TV was made in 1989.
The worst part is I gave it to him 2.5 months ago.
Yeah, it was probably a couple weeks after you gave it to me.
Wait, this was sitting in your truck?
Yeah.
I'm amazed that it didn't rust out.
I
like the
know,
rest of
man.
it.
That thing's freaking ready to
I don't know.
return to the earth.
I want you all to try to picture this. Imagine a car that is trying really hard to not be a car anymore. The bottom of Mike's car is transparent.
It's a truck, man.
You could read a newspaper through the holes and the rusted side
This
panels.
thing's freaking 18 years old, man. And what, you want a truck?
No.
Free.
No, my car is also 18 years old. Intact.
Partially. But it's been a while, Mike. How was your weeks?
Not bad.
How
They
was
were
your
good.
3/4 of a month?
They were good. They were good. It was good. Freaking, remember last time I was talking about, all this new shit with the phones and everything because I
Yeah.
got the phone. And that one ended up dying. Had to return it. Fucking all kinds of bullshit. Got another one. And a couple of days later, same freaking shit happened. That one died. Now that one
Sending
went
it
back.
back.
And now I'm waiting for the
Now
third
you're getting
one.
flagged by Homeland Security because of all the packages from China coming to your house every fucking 2 days.
It fucking sucks, man.
First of all, you got to
blows.
stop trying to fold it.
It just, yeah, I know, right? Wait, this one don't fold like my last one 20 years ago? I don't get it. And what I was afraid of is freaking happening. I'm starting to fucking miss it. Missing the phone,
Yeah.
this and that. Fucking sucks. I didn't want that to happen, man. But,
No, you just
know.
fucking. Well, what else? That's
Well,
it.
what are
So
you gonna do?
you had a broken phone in the past 3 weeks.
No, and another
I'm so
thing
glad
too.
you're back.
The last episode was mighty sloppy.
It was.
It was very sloppy. I mean, it started off great.
Yeah.
But then we drank like 60 beers or whatever, and
It was a
and
lot
it just
of
went
fucking beer.
downhill.
What was
after
the
that.
final tally?
I think it was 51
51,
beers.
I think.
51 beers over the
bad.
course
And the
of
only
6
reason-
hours.
Not that we don't. Not that we.
Me and
count,
Craig have pounded like twice that
Oh, yeah.
together before,
But, I mean,
but
it's
not
that
during
we,
a show.
We weren't counting them. What it was is we counted. Brad had brought an extra 30 pack, and when he left, he just went, "I only have 9 beers left."
Yeah.
So
Nine?
that's how we knew.
I walked out with a 6-pack.
Oh, really?
Not to
Oh, so we
mention
drank
this
more of that.
table, you couldn't see anything on this table but a can top everywhere.
Yeah.
It was just can
And then
tops.
listening to the last half of the raw audio, I was just like, that ain't going in.
Yeah.
It was just slurring.
That was actually a 4-hour episode.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
And that's just because it took us that long to get shit out. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, I know we're a drinking show.
Yeah.
I think we've embraced that. We have other shows on the Damaged Goods Network that embrace other forms of recreation.
Yeah.
Right? So this has always been our bag. This was the first time in a year and a half that I said, all right, we overdid it.
Yeah.
I
We
know,
knew it was
right?
coming.
I mean, Craig sent me a clip that we didn't air,
Yeah.
and it was just us talking. Holy shit, dude.
It was in between.
Incoherent.
It was in between. We had paused it for something, and we were setting up something else.
Right.
And it was our voices we were all slurring and fucking. It was so bad, and I'm like, oh my god,
It was so funny.
We sounded like three guys pretending to be drunk.
I was listening to the episode. I was like, "Wow, this is pretty good, man." You know, and then
It was
after a
so
while, I was like,
fucking bad.
"Oh, well."
If you heard it, then you
Yeah.
know it was bad because your
I
whole
know.
life runs at 45 RPM.
But I immediately sent it to Brad. I said, Brad, listen, because we had redid it. We went back. We said, you know what? Let's do that part over again. You know, we could talk about that. That was just our own delusional thought.
Yeah, we were so
Do you
amazed.
remember that night? You
I
were like,
do.
That was
Wow,
the
that was
best idea
awesome.
we had.
That was
Yeah.
great.
It may have been the worst thing we've ever done. We've done some bad shit on this show.
Alcohol's a hell of a thing.
How many times are you going to rip off
Hey.
that stupid Dave Chappelle piece?
God.
You have ripped off that Dave Chappelle.
know,
You should be
I
paying
know.
him royalties.
I know.
I had to cut out
fucking know
like
it.
47 A's. Because as the more beer you drank,
I know.
all we
I
did
know.
was
I
talk
noticed
about
that.
Bill Cosby in the beginning. And you
As
just
soon as
kept
anyone
saying it.
said Bill, I was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I was
but-
going to say Bill Bixby, but you said, hey. I'm the fucking
But,
Hulk.
we're gonna try to keep the drinking down to a minimum this week.
You won't like me when I'm angry. Hey. It was just anything he could get it in. He was just fucking doing it. It was insane.
So we only brought 40 tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not counting the ones that we had in there.
I'm
and
convinced
the
that
ones upstairs.
the last 10 are the ones that killed us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Guaranteed.
I don't know. You know, it's funny. Like, the more I hear it, I played that episode back about 5 times this week. Like, I was on the downloads page, and I was all excited looking at our host. And I was like, wow, a lot of people have downloaded. And then I realized it was just me
Yeah.
playing this shit back again.
Just give
But I have to say that there was something kind of real about it. And Mike made a good point this week. And Mike said, you know, when we started this fucking show, the whole idea was basically letting everybody else in onto the conversations we would be having around this table or the deck or in my
Yeah.
garage or wherever we were hanging out. The whole idea was to give them that real vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and over the course of it, you know, Craig and I get a little too serious about this shit sometimes. I'll admit that. I will confess that for some reason we've got delusions of grandeur about where we're going with this show.
Well, it's not that. It's also, I want to make it listenable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you guys, imagine what kind of shit show. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? You're on the say, woohoo. Hey.
I think the
No,
most
that's what
entertaining
the show would
show
sound
would
like
be,
without you guys.
the most entertaining show would be you because you'd forget to turn the mics off. And it would just be recording 24 hours of mic.
Bloop.
It would be nothing but
Dropping a deuce, man.
farts and you screaming at your mother-in-law. And you know what? The listenership would be better than this show.
Yeah. No. No, but
I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, like, yeah, I do take it serious to a
I do
point.
too. It's you know,
Because I want it to be listenable.
I want us
That's
to
the
have
thing.
fun, man,
No, we do.
and people, and I want people to have fun listening. That's
Yeah.
all.
That's
you
the
know,
thing.
I always think too that if you ever get satisfied with what you're doing, then you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You know, you can't be too satisfied. We
Yeah.
want to make it better. We do want to get bigger. Why do we do this every week if we're talking the same 8 people?
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
clearly we want this to be bigger. We wouldn't have joined this network
Yeah.
if we didn't
Yeah,
want it to
exactly.
be bigger. And frankly, now that we've got a baseline, there are some standards we have to maintain.
Yeah.
Last week we may have pushed it. That said, Crack a beer, gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
Some standards we got to maintain. Only 40 this week,
Exactly.
guys. Only 40 beers.
So,
sorry.
what's going on in the world over the last however many weeks?
Not much. There was one cool thing.
Not much. We got a 5-page outline.
Yeah. But the one cool thing I enjoyed was seeing them build that movie set on Main Street in Warren. They not movie set, was it? AMC is filming a TV show in Rhode Island, and they're filming a lot of it in our town. And it was pretty cool. They built that set quick. It was up and down in a day. They built a bridge. It's for Joe Hill's book. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
How bad of a father was he that nobody wants to take his name?
no, his other son did because he's an author as well. But Joe Hill didn't want his father's name to sell his books.
Yeah.
So that's why he did it. And
that's good.
He's really good, and he wrote a comic book called Lock and Key, and it's almost like an anthology series. It would come out in like I can't remember how it was. I think it was like 6 issues, and then a new one would stop, and and it was almost like an anthology, but they were connected together. It was fantastic horror comic book. Fantastic.
Oh, so it's horror again.
Yeah.
So because Stephen King got away from horror for a while.
Yeah.
He did his thing. I just want to know what they're filming nearby because I think the big set was right in front of Rod's Hot Wieners.
Yeah, Rod's Grill. Yeah. And what it was is that it's going to be
Between rods and a church.
it's
In cheeks.
he wrote a book a few years back called Nosferatu, but it's NOS for it's like the cover of the book was a license plate, and it was spelt out with letters and numbers. You know what I mean? So, but it's weird. It's very much like like stuff his father would write, And I knew because I had read the book years ago, and I knew when they were building the bridge. I kind of forgot about the book. I don't remember everything from it, but when they were building it, I was like, that's the Shortaway Bridge. I'm like, that's what they're building, because that was a main part of the book. I'm like, they're building it in front of fucking Rod's Grill. I want lunch. I'm like, as cool as this is.
What's messed up is they built that set. They built that set and took it down
in
within
one
a couple
day,
of days.
and it was down the next day.
And right down the street, that our friggin' town couldn't build a friggin' 100-foot bridge for fucking 18 years or something.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. Right down the street.
But I mean, it was up and down. So I mean, the whole thing was cool to see all that all that stuff going on. And me knowing that, because I had read the book and knowing it's going to be a TV series, and they're doing a 10-episode series, and that's it, and it's supposed to be over after that. It's like kind of like a mini series, but an extended one. But I think they're going to leave it hanging in case people like it and they can continue on.
If there's money to be made, they're going to make it.
Yeah.
And I just really want to see how Rod's Hot Wieners factor in.
Yeah, it's actually a
wanted-
pizza place. They turned it. It's the pizza place that's in the town.
There are 4 other pizza places.
There's one
Yeah.
right across the street.
But I think it was.
Across
I think
the
it was
street.
just the location, the way it worked. They could build the other set because they built the set right near it for the bridge. The bridge is nowhere near the pizza place in the book,
But it worked. Yeah.
but it worked the way they did. So they're able to shoot
Yeah.
probably a shitload of scenes, staying in one location, and
went
be
to
done.
Rod's and ate wieners
And then
for once.
directly across the street is George Hale Library, and they filmed
on the
in
other
there.
side, yeah.
And then they turned the town clerk's office into the sheriff's office.
Well, doesn't it do that too? Because that's where I got my driver's license.
Nah, the police
my
station is behind it now.
It's perfect though,
But-
because that
It's an
building,
old-looking
everything's
building.
so old
Yeah.
looking, the wooden rails and everything,
and I
it's good
installed all the
woodwork.
floors in it, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there you go.
You should get residuals.
That's what I said. I was like, hey,
He gets residuals. but
I
not
just
from
want
that.
my name in the credits. So when you're watching Nosferatu on AMC and you look at the floors in the sheriff's office, I did those.
So Nosferatu, was that a kind of a play on Nos, like nitrous, and did the car have
No.
nitrous? All right.
No, it was play on Nosferatu.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I would really like it if you stop pretending to be smart.
What? All right. I won't
We
pretend
like you
anymore.
better when you don't do that.
I won't pretend anymore.
But,
But-
all right. So I didn't mean to cut off your weekend review.
No, that was pretty much it. We actually covered it.
How's the car? You still own it?
I do.
They didn't confiscate it for another
Nope.
8 weeks.
And my wife let me take it last week. I drove it on down to the Kinsman.
Yeah,
Put
she
my
let you
football
drive it to
picks
the
in.
bar, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you plied her with alcohol good and early, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I went down there, put my football picks in, and then came back. And I was like, I'm going to go there and have one beer. And like 7 beers later, I left with...
I would have came back with that thing all mudded out, mud everywhere, four-wheeling. Yeah, hey, thanks, hon. Give it the
Yeah.
key back.
Well, Brad did it. Brad was like, I'll be there in a little bit. I got to put my football picks in, but I can't stay because I got my daughter with me. So so Brad comes in, fills out his ticket. He's going to leave. His wife shows up. He's like, and he's drinking. He's like, and then his wife leaves with his kids.
Well, that was it. I wasn't expecting that little
Yeah.
bonus.
Yep.
Well, that changed the whole fabric
Changed
of
the
my
whole-
afternoon.
It changed mine, too. That's what happened.
And so we both.
Because I was only supposed to be there for 1 or 2 myself.
I stayed another hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hung out. It was
Yep.
good. It was good to be
No, it
back
was
at the
fun.
bar on a Sunday. And then the Giants did what they do.
Yep.
So that was it. All right. Speaking of guys who should have punted instead of going for, our old friend Louis fucking C.K.
Fucking Louis C.K.
Fuck
This
the guy.
son of a bitch. This guy said, hey, you know what? Everybody hated that time where I showed up on stage and just did a set like nothing happened.
Yep.
He went up and said, you know what would be better? If I went and did it again.
Did it again.
And so now he's just ignorant. It started out like, okay, he took a shot.
Yeah.
And actually, after we learned after the episode, was that Louis actually did another show the night before, earlier that night.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He was on Long Island and did a set, and the crowd liked him out there because, hey, Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Goomba, whatever. Yeah,
Everybody was jerking off in the crowd.
Absolutely.
Like, whatever.
He's just up on stage clapping. Yeah. But, that was before he went to the cellar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now, he says, I'm going to do it again. And he did it. Same deal. Showed up, did a set of obnoxious jokes and made no apology, no acknowledgement, no nothing. And he did it again on his home turf at the Comedy Cellar, and crowd booed him.
And people walked out.
They walked out. So this is going to kind of tie into what I talked about in the intro, and it's going to kind of lead us there. But what's he doing? What is going on in Louis C.K.? If you were Louis C.K., what is your play? I tried to discuss this a few weeks ago, but the two douchebags at this table wouldn't let me.
We took it a totally different
Yeah,
direction.
we did.
Brad had a brilliant idea.
He did have a brilliant
And it was
idea,
perfect.
and we totally fucked it.
And we fucking
We
screwed
screwed
yeah.
I think I spooge on the camera lens.
Well, you ended with that. So you chimed right in on
If
it.
you can't beat them,
Beat him out of.
No, but he's trying to
just
sweep,
beat off.
Yeah. He's trying to sweep shit under a rug that has got so much shit under it. There's no room for any more shit.
Does he think people are going to forget? Is that what
that's-
he's doing here?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he was going to try and make this happen without an apology or acknowledging it, then he was going to have to wait a few years.
I agree. And I don't even think an apology at this point, because everybody knows what he did, and they also
No.
know that he was
Well,
remorseful.
he did apologize. So,
Well, when the statement came
with
out.
the statement, but I'm saying to acknowledge it, without acknowledging it and without doing anything, he needed to wait a few years, like maybe 4 years from now he pops up, and everybody's like, oh shit, it's that dude that is asking everybody if he could jerk off in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And he
it wouldn't have
atoned
been-
for his sins by being poor and not working
and not
for
working
4 years.
for 4 years, and
A
that
year
would've
ain't
worked.
enough time.
And it wasn't even a year before he started pulling this, and then he keeps doing it, and
He's
that's
all-
the thing.
he's
And
all
what he's
done.
done is, I think he's completely ruined.
He's
his
ruined
credibility. He
every
never
way.
had credibility after that, but he's
No, but at
ruined
least
himself.
at least before he apologized, he
Yeah.
at least had
No,
some
he
people
owned
saying,
up to it.
Like, hey, at least and then he apologized and totally lost that demographic too.
Well, my thing was he owned up to it. He acknowledged it. Never said I didn't do it. He said, "Yeah, I did. I'm fucked up. I'm sorry."
Yep.
So, okay, fade away into the background for a while, and then come back a few years
Let
later.
me draw a parallel. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman jerked off in a place, probably the only safe public place to jerk off, in an adult theater, which don't
Yeah.
even exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know? But at the time, that's what he did. And what did he do? He took a long time off. Everybody saw his mugshot.
Years.
Showed up on the MTV Music Awards or Movie Awards or one
Fucking
of those.
people loved him.
Well, because he came out and he said, "Hey, anybody heard any good jokes?"
Yeah.
Okay, now let's be fair. It's not really a parallel because that was a victimless crime. What Louis
Yeah,
C.K.
he did-
wasn't
it
victimless.
was, yeah, it wasn't
Well, the
victim.
guy that's got to clean up in the friggin' movie theaters is a victim. I would think, man.
But that guy already,
victim.
that guy knew what he was there.
You know what's crazy?
He knew what he was getting into.
I had this job in Florida. I won't say what it was, but I worked with a guy who is a working stand-up.
Brad was like, hey, that was Pee Wee Herman.
Look, you didn't even eat all his popcorn.
You know what's crazy? If you go back into the archives of this show, there's way too many stories involving me and a mop.
Yeah.
But this guy's a working comic, and he's a damn good one.
Yep.
And he just happened to work at this company I was with doing something completely unrelated. But he actually, his first job when he left high school was mopping up in an adult theater.
Oh my
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
And it's a good chunk of his stand-up. Phenomenal comedian. I won't mention him now because I'm not sure that's the intro he wants.
Yeah.
But let's just put it this way. He's got a very similar name to a musician, and he is a joker. We'll leave it at that. But so there you go, Steve. But no, he's a good egg, and he talks about it on stage.
Yep.
And he's really funny about that. But getting back to Pee Wee, the thing with Pee Wee is he was ultimately victimless, but he was a children's performer.
Yeah, that was
Louis
the
was
big
never a
thing.
children's performer, and he even talked on stage about jerking off on women. He loved jerking off in front of people.
Yeah.
Like he had some kind of weird mental tick that made him want to masturbate in front of women. And now he's apologized and he made a statement and he's owned up to it. Do you think he should have the right to come back? Because we argued for him.
I did. I argued for the fact that he deserved the second chance, but the backlash he got when he first came and said, "Hey, I'm going to do this show," and he got a backlash. Fucking go away.
Well, I think that's
his
the
own-
best
you
way
know?
to describe him. I think he's tone deaf. He didn't read the audience.
Didn't read the
That's
crowd.
the problem. He doesn't read how he can't read people.
Didn't read the reaction.
And
it was whether the people at the venue enjoyed it didn't matter because the fucking world didn't at that
And
point.
Well, how
I'm
much
not-
laughter was nervous? I'm sorry for cutting you
No,
off. But
no.
How
But-
much laughter was nervous? Like,
Yeah, right.
shit, that's
Exactly.
funny, but I'm afraid to laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm
Because he didn't kill. From
No.
what I hear, he kind of
No,
stumbled
yeah,
up
yeah,
there,
yeah.
you know?
I'm not a comedian, Brad. You and fucking one
No
of the
shit.
one of the main fucking things you need as a comedian is the ability to read your
to
audience.
read the room. You got to read
You
the
gotta
room.
read the room. How?
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Mike's
if
like,
you-
I'm not a comedian, but I did mop up jizz last night.
No, but I mean, we talked about it, and I think he
I
did.
want to Google Brad NTS mop. Sorry, guys.
entry 1, entry 2,
No,
entry 3.
I mean, like I said, I thought he deserved a second chance eventually, but now he doesn't. Now I think he's done, and I think he's done it to himself.
He won't be done. He'll be back.
I don't think so.
Next
I
week
think.
he's doing another set.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be
No,
back
I
too
think
early.
he needs to rebrand his comedy. The biggest mistake he made was not getting up on stage. That wasn't the problem. It was that he didn't come back and write a 20-minute set of absolute gold, destroying himself.
Himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I made that whole thing about him performing to an empty room. That would have been a killer set.
That would have been a
'Cause
fucking
it
great set.
It wouldn't have been stand-up. It would have been a monologue, and it would have been an absolute apology by not apologizing. He would have just done a set completely out of character for him.
Oh, the dog is sneezing
Sorry.
like crazy.
Jerry's sneezing like a bastard over
Jerry
here. Sorry, buddy.
disagrees. I think the humbling of him performing in front of an empty room and doing a set that wasn't really aimed at punchlines, but more about reflection. I think that would have been a tremendous gesture on his part.
Yes.
He could have gone to the cellar and done a halfway point and done a set that wasn't his usual
Bashed
set.
himself.
Bashed himself mercilessly to the point where everybody in the audience now says, he gets it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He didn't. He came out and made more jokes about his daughter. A girl, by the way, almost a woman, that he once called a cunt.
Yeah.
In his state. And now I've made jokes about my kids, and I've made some bad ones. I've never once said anything remotely close to that about my children.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And he did it on a national stage.
No matter how funny it is, I mean, there's just a
There
line.
are lines you don't cross,
Come on,
and
man.
he wanted to cross those lines because he wanted to be known as a guy who had no filter.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we realize is in real life, he also had no filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is when he should have redirected himself. I am with you now. I don't think he gets another chance soon.
No.
But he's going to get another chance. And I think the next one will be his last. He's going to end up being like a trivia question.
Yeah.
I don't know,
exactly.
man. I don't see him coming
Well,
back
I mean,
from this.
go back.
What's he
So
going
only
to do?
because
Somebody will
exactly,
pay him.
but it's not about what he's gonna do.
Go back 2-3
It's-
years ago. He was one of the big. He was selling out arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's going to be an airport Ramada
So was Elvis
somewhere
in
in
77.
Oklahoma that's going to pay him. He's going to
Yeah.
have to work small
Oh, yeah.
rooms.
Right. He's got to
Okay.
work his way back if he's gonna get back.
The big thing he can do right now, get a Bill Burr or somebody to get him to open up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
hey guys, I'm supporting him. Maybe you should too.
But if he doesn't
Yeah.
take that road of making fun of himself and doing all the shit, he'll never get back.
But in the
he has to take that step.
But those guys have to be careful too, because
oh yeah, they can
they
be
need-
branded very easily with
I
him.
could see someone like
these
Bill Burr,
days.
who was a friend of his. You know what I mean? These guys.
Not after this, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Bill Burr
No-
just cut him off.
Oh yeah, no, and shut him right down. But what I'm saying, these are guys. This is a group of guys, that work, those cliques of comedians that work together, and
Right.
they work the same rooms together
Yeah.
and made their bones together in these rooms.
They don't want to taint
so they
that
know
by-
each other,
by-
but still,
Said taint.
I
said
did say taint.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you get to that point where no matter what, someone does something wrong, it's wrong. And you know it, But maybe, somebody, not Bill Burr, but somebody says, you know what? Yeah, I'll give him a shot to open up for me. Not fucking next week.
Yeah.
You
No
know?
way. You
No,
kidding me?
I mean, I think we've proven over time. Time heals everything.
Yeah.
We've forgiven a lot of things. And honestly, if Cosby didn't get indicted and sent to jail,
Yeah.
I think a year from now somebody would be like, Cosby's really not that bad.
He's not that bad of a
Okay,
guy.
and he drugged and assaulted women.
Yeah.
Okay, at least Louis had the decency to not touch them.
Yeah.
He just wanted
Yes.
to spank his meat
He asked politely. Yeah.
and
So did
apologize
Bill.
right after.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
did
but he
Bill.
always finished.
Bill always asked politely too, but when they said no, you hear that bloop, drop into the freaking
That's
into
Cosby,
the drink.
not Burr, right?
Yes, yes.
Just making sure we're not making
Sorry,
enemies.
Cosby.
Yeah,
Cosby.
exactly.
Definitely not Burr.
Just in case
Definitely not
one
Burr.
of our 8 listeners sends this on to Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's great.
All right, so that's Louis. But Mike did have a good point. Louis, if you're free, we're hiring.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, man. We're hiring.
I mean, yeah.
We'll forgive you.
We'll
Bring
take
you on
it.
down.
Yeah, we'll have you down here.
We're guaranteed to have at least one episode just get a shitload of listeners.
And in all honesty, if you want to go in the garage and rub one out,
Hey, whatever. Nothing
gonna hang out with you.
nothing I haven't done before in my garage. No
I
big
was going
deal.
to say, you can shine a black light over this basement right now.
It's just gonna be like glowing
We
blue.
wouldn't even know you were here.
I know. You have to wear sunglasses if you
Yeah.
fucking put a black light on in this fucking room.
So, keeping on with the Me Too thing, we get some headlines every week, and we're constantly looking for things to kind of tie in thematically. And so this one kind of jumped at us, and the headline was great because they didn't pull any punches, and it was pretty obvious where the reporter was coming from.
yeah,
Professor acts like a sexist pig at the best time imaginable.
it was fucking great.
And it's always the New York Post. Honestly, we should be paying them residuals.
Yeah, no doubt. Huh?
We get more of our headlines from the New York
Oh,
Post.
they're
than anywhere.
fucking phenomenal.
I thought when I started putting Post headlines, you guys are going to be like, Brad in New York again. You guys have embraced this paper
No,
the
man,
way
it's
I've
great. Are you
embraced it.
kidding me?
It's also the best sports in New York, but that's another story. But yeah, so this one, literally acts like a sexist pig at the best time imaginable. What happened was he was basically describing doctoral candidates and people going for a Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
And his description was basically no women were involved in the making of this. When the reality was that's exactly what had happened.
Yeah.
And several of the women on his study were now up for a Nobel Prize
In physics.
and won.
And one of them won.
Yep.
Granted, 2 men helped her.
All they had to do was back out of the driveway. That's all they needed them to do.
She was part of a team
Yeah.
of it was her and 2 other professors, which were men. But I mean, this woman won a Nobel Prize and deserves it.
Did the guys get a Nobel Prize?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, all
yeah,
right.
they did.
So why is the story? You know what I mean?
This guy apparently is an old school. They're Italian.
Go figure.
Okay, I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but it didn't happen here. No Americans have won a Nobel Prize in a long time.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're not good at science. But this Italian team, basically, the guy denounced it and said, there's no way in hell women have done anything in science or physics that mattered. Men have helped them along. They don't have the brains to pull this off. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically the gist
That's
of
what
it.
he was saying. He was saying that they don't have the capacity
Yeah.
to think
It's terrible, man.
like men do. And he was like saying, listen, there's been more men geniuses in the world than female geniuses.
Yeah, but why is
which
that?
Is not, but
It's not true.
It's not true
It's just-
because
Well, it's the only ones that have been allowed to get the spotlight.
Right.
yes,
That's the whole
because
thing.
how many women geniuses were just like they're like, oh, shut up,
Yeah.
go
And-
do the dishes.
And how
I was
many
like, what?
inventions or ideas were brought up by women that men took the credit for?
The woman that the technology that we use today to detect other planets, and even looking at planets through a telescope to determine, all right, the atmosphere is looking through a light spectrum.
Yeah,
and
look,
say
this
the
color is
atmosphere
this.
this is hydrogen. This is
Yeah.
that was a woman who discovered that. I
And you
wish
have no
I could
idea
think of
what
her
her
name.
name is.
I wish I could think of her name right now, but she's a woman, so it didn't matter.
I'll drink to that one.
I was like, whatever. That's fucked up. I was just thinking, I want a sandwich.
Hey, when you're done with that physics shit, you want to make me a ham and cheese?
Nah, that's fucking.
Put that chemistry away. Chemistry set away.
Put that
Those
thing
kids
down.
see
Wash
this
your hands
cow
and make me a
season
fucking
cleaning.
sandwich.
Do the dishes too.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah,
fucking
it's
horrible.
awesome. It is.
Jesus, I step away for 1 minute to take a leak, and you guys steal my jokes. Sons of bitches. I was going to say she made the most geometrically, physically balanced sandwich of all time. She made a BLT that stood the test of
The
time.
perfect amount of meat, the perfect amount of lettuce.
That was totally. And she also invented shoes that got her 3 inches closer to the sink. So she
We are fucking dicks.
Oh shit.
We are dicks.
Well, I was going to say, what happened to this guy? I think the real crux of the story we didn't really get to yet. It wasn't just that he said it, but the university fired him.
Yeah.
And this point, I'm kind of on the fence about. Like, morally, yeah, I'm like, fire the fucker.
Yeah,
He's
fuck
such an
him.
asshole.
He deserves it. He's a dick.
But Italy is a free speech country.
Say whatever the fuck he
He
wants.
didn't hurt anybody.
No.
She won the Nobel Prize. It didn't prevent her from succeeding.
No.
He kind of just proved he's
He
an
voiced
asshole.
voiced his opinion, which made him a dick.
Yeah, and I
Bottom
think,
line.
I mean, I think karma's a bitch. Although we can't say that anymore. Hashtag me too.
Oh yeah.
Can't say that.
Karma's a douche. Oh, you
Can't say that either. There's a lot of chicks named Karma out there.
I
dude.
think it's just karma's misunderstood. But the truth is, he didn't say, "Hey, by the way, be violent and go rape her." And do
no.
everything. No, he just said, I don't think she deserves it because she's a woman, which makes him an ignorant prick.
Big time.
Doesn't make him a bad physicist.
No.
And let's be real. I mean, from what we know about physicists, most of them just hole up in their labs and do their thing anyway.
Right on Windows.
Who's he really bothering? He's not like a social butterfly, this guy. He's a physicist.
Yeah.
Let him be an ignorant prick. Most of them probably think this way anyway.
His biggest problem is he's probably never been late.
Well, he's Italian.
And he hates women.
That's his biggest problem right there. He's Italian.
No, he's probably...
I'm taking this from a semi-employed Portuguese. Whatever.
Semi-employed. Who shows
This is a guy who spent his whole life as a total fucking dork.
Oh, yeah.
Doing physics and never got laid. And he just hates women.
I just think he deserves to be tried in the court of public opinion. He works at a school that is fairly forward-thinking.
Yes.
So let him go out there and say these things and then keep him employed. The school is trying to save face, and I get that. But let him get his ass beat by one of the students.
But still, what the fuck?
Exactly.
This guy, where the fuck has this guy been? Really? Look at everything that's been going on this past year. Where the fuck has he been to just come out and fucking say this, like, to where he knows everyone in the world is gonna fucking hear it? You know, it's ridiculous. He don't give a shit.
He's been trying to win the Nobel Prize that she just won. And
yeah,
I think
jealousy.
I find this whole thing about, like, against women, like, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that, so fucking ridiculous.
It is
because
ridiculous.
For thousands of years, we know they can. Women have ruled countries for thousands of years, ruled countries successfully for long periods of time.
Been huge people in industry forever.
So it's I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Why
just
people
fucking
think that way.
I think it's pure jealousy.
Yes.
I think it's pettiness.
It's massive pettiness.
And he is Italian. So
I mean, during World War I and World War II, who built the tanks and the planes that the guys were flying?
Man,
women did.
Mostly women.
You know, so it was no.
Who put their lives on the line inside those tanks?
Yeah, but I mean,
well, I'm pretty sure if a tank falls on you, you're not surviving. I think it's ridiculous, but I am against the university firing him for saying something. If he did something, that's different.
Yeah,
raises a hand or does something to affect her career.
That's
now
manipulate.
You can say that his words might affect her career. All it did was make her look better.
Yeah,
everybody there is mocking him, and the truth is, the only thing the school was worried about was hiring and scholarships, because they wanted the school to still be a pristine university in Europe. I don't know what school it is. Mike is writing this down. I don't know what school it is. I don't care.
I don't know
it's an Italian university that does physics.
Well, yeah, but
if anybody's going to look this up, I don't fucking care.
No, but the reason I'm saying is, I mean, they can fucking get rid of them if they fucking want to, as long as it's a
totally they're right.
Yeah,
and American schools would totally drop this guy in a heartbeat. All I'm saying is let him get what's due.
Yeah,
and let a bunch of women fucking assault him and Me Too him. You know, and fucking crack this guy like the asshole that he is. Let's be clear: if there's any confusion about what we said tonight,
no bell. Oh, that was terrible.
Ding dong.
That was terrible.
Oh, hashtag no laughs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag just like the joke I said 2 seconds ago. That these guys ignored. Now I look like that guy from the fucking university, and I'm gonna get fucking fired.
Totally tone deaf. No, he's a dick, and we all know it. But I don't know if that's a fireable offense for having an opinion, even if it's the wrong one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But this raised an actual better discussion, and something I think we can talk about meaningfully for probably 9 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, we'll shave the episode down. All right, so this week, Molly Ringwald, the name we've never really mentioned on this show, and with good reason, because she's 50 and hideous.
Yeah. She was 16 and hideous.
Well, I got a thing for redhead, so I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, no. She was a good-looking woman.
She was America's sweetheart. That kind of thing. You
know,
know,
I agree with you 100%.
But she went and basically destroyed our childhood this past couple weeks. Yeah. And she was saying that because of the Me Too movement, she realized that most of the movies she made in the 80s were absolute trash and would not fly today.
No.
And she might be right.
She's half right. They weren't trash. They were funny as hell.
They
Some
were
of
great
them.
movies.
But
And you're talking about a time that was exploitation movies were just fucking
they were
running
rampant.
It was
They
all
were
like
everywhere.
sexual liberation and all this.
Yeah.
And it
Tits.
was
Every movie had tits. And
well, also every 80s movie had the underdog story.
yes.
And it was always the underdog getting, pulling one off on the popular kids.
nerds.
Exactly. Or they were getting over on whatever was oppressing them. And so a lot of that came through sexual
yes.
means. We talked about the Revenge of the Nerds scene,
Yep.
right? But she's saying that her movies, which we thought were innocent,
Yeah.
weren't. And I mentioned that in the intro. I said, The Breakfast Club, we always thought that was like an empowering thing. Like Bender came out and he was the misunderstood burnout.
Yeah.
And his dad burned cigarettes out on his arm, and we all rooted for Bender. There was a scene in that movie that Molly Ringwald pointed out that he basically jumped under the table and more or less molested her,
Yeah.
and she didn't make a sound. She just let him do it.
Yeah.
And then there was another scene in 16 Candles, which I've never seen, admittedly. I've never seen that movie.
Yep.
But apparently the nerd ends up fucking her. And that's supposed to be like,
Well, no, he doesn't. What he does is he makes a deal with her in the bathroom, and he takes her panties,
Yes.
and he goes out and he says he fucked her
Yeah.
to his friends. He raises the panties.
all
up,
right,
like-
but that's arguably
still,
the same
it's fucking same
level.
thing.
It's filthy.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Because if he actually did fuck her,
well, let me
She let
rephrase
him
it.
do it.
I just
That's
said
it.
it's filthy. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It was,
It's just-
the whole idea John Hughes was getting behind was the underdog
teenagers.
being a teenager and getting. John Hughes really didn't want to be a perv.
No, of course
I don't know
not.
if he was or not.
It's a
but-
different time.
who
like
knows?
things, yeah. Like
He made great movies for the time when you were a kid.
Right.
You were a teenager at that time, and you were like, "That's just like I know that person."
Moments in time, man.
There's a kid in my class just like that. There's a group, the group of my friends. There's a guy just like that.
All right, but
There's
let
a
me
guy
let
just
me
like
bring
that.
back up the Breakfast Club again, and we're going to get into a bigger discussion here. But the Breakfast Club to me was always about, you know what, we're all the same,
Yeah,
or we're not that different. Let's do it that way.
Yeah,
we're
we're
not
not
all
that
that different. Does any of the impact of that message get lost because of the fact that she allowed somebody to basically finger her under a table just because she didn't want to get caught?
yeah.
Is that message lost now? Is that movie losing impact? Like, this is a movie I actually thought I would watch with my
I just
daughter.
watched it about 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Just so
there you
know.
go. Then talk, because I haven't seen it in years.
I just
haven't
watched
seen it in a
about
while
2 weeks
myself.
ago. I was laying. I went to bed. I always watch TV when I go to bed, and it was on, and I ended up watching it. It was only about 15 minutes in, and I watched it from beginning to end, and it's fucking great.
You
It's a
actually
great movie.
you watched it from 15 minutes on to the end.
Yeah.
Not from beginning.
No,
to
I
end.
just watched that one part. and then I
kept
lost
rewinding
interest.
it.
No,
Kept
See,
rewinding
you
it.
know what I love about the Breakfast Club is that they freeze frame at the end. Bender's walking across
Yeah.
the football field, and he puts his fist
they
in
do
the
that
air.
whole chips freeze
Yeah.
frame.
But what they didn't show is like right after he put his fist in the air, 7 seagulls died. And just like converged right on his hand.
They're all pecking at his finger.
Sorry, Molly.
No, but I mean, it's a great movie. But I mean, how can you point that out? Because look at all the other movies. Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Another movie I haven't seen in ages.
Big
right?
time.
Great movie.
So give me a rape scene in there.
Well, it's not a rape scene, but how about the fact that what's her name walks out of the pool with her tits out, right? And everybody's looking at her tits like, oh, those are great tits. And apparently in that movie, she's fucking a 16-year-old girl,
Yeah.
right? And then her friend, who is a grade below her, who is technically 15-year-old girl, goes out with the guy from the car stereo store because they sold car stereos. Remember? And
How
he's in
old
his,
is this movie?
and he's in his 20s because they worked in the mall together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he takes her to the baseball field and he bangs her in the dugout. And he's in his 20s and she's
children.
like 15.
All right, well, that's what I want to ask. Like, how, and here's the term again, we're using it again, but tone deaf, were they? because this is not that long ago.
And it wasn't uncommon.
The age of consent
It
was
wasn't
still an age of
uncommon.
consent.
Yes.
15 was never the age of consent in California or anywhere.
Yeah.
In Ridgemont, Montana, it wasn't the same.
It's not. It's not that it was right or anything, but like Craig said, it wasn't uncommon. It was every show or movie back in that time frame.
Well, you
had
were just
something
you were
like
just
that
coming
going
off
on.
of an age of
70s. Are you kidding
of
me?
people just fucking
Yeah.
and doing drugs in restaurants.
Guaranteed.
Well,
And it
I mean,
didn't
we
matter.
talk about
In,
the 60s
Studio
as the free
54.
love era.
No, I'm talking about the set.
Well,
like,
but
this
hear me
is-
out. Hear me out. The 60s was the free love era, but what we know as the 60s was really 68 to 75. You know?
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because the early 60s had nothing to do with it.
No.
The
No,
early
no,
60s were just the 50s.
Just
Yeah.
a leftover.
Okay, so
50s.
68
Yeah.
to 75, they started making these movies. And then you got movies like Meatballs.
Yep.
And Porky's was like, what, 81, 82?
Yeah,
something like
Porky's
that.
in the 80s.
But the point is, it was all that idea of free love and sexual expression and do what you do, you know? But how is that not... Somebody on that set had to be like, well, dude, she's 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, like,
that's
but the worst part is it wasn't her parents saying that. That's
Well,
the fucked
she
up
wasn't
part,
actually
you know.
getting fucked by a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah.
She was probably 20 herself.
Well,
Yeah.
that was- well,
Was
but
she?
how about? Well, you speak of that. That goes to another movie that was in the 80s. Was with Brooke Shields, Endless Love.
oh, God.
It was
Right. The guy, the actor who played her lover was Martin Hewitt. He was 20 years old. She was 16.
Yeah, but did he play a 20-year-old though?
No, he didn't. But he was actually 20 years old.
All right, but that's the thing, though.
They weren't really-
They weren't actually having sex.
Yeah,
either.
They're
exactly.
pretty damn close. They're making out.
Yeah,
He's
but-
rubbing her titties.
So what? But they're not
You know,
fucking.
there's- he's all over. Yeah, no, they're not fucking, but he's all over a 16-year-old girl.
Didn't she do that in the
But
Blue
even
Lagoon,
the
too?
Blue Lagoon, even before that, she was what 14 at that
Yeah,
time.
no, she
15?
never actually got undressed, and then you never actually saw her nude.
No,
in
but
any
you
of her
always
movies.
it was like a cheesecloth between
Yeah, there
us
was
and
always
her
like a
tits.
hand in the way or something.
a cheesecloth between us and her tits. That's what it fucking was.
I did think it was cheesy. I did want to see her tits, so it was cheesy.
Definitely,
whatever
man.
that cloth
Guaranteed.
was.
She was
You know
great.
what's crazy? Earlier today, I'm going to be full disclosure. Earlier today, Fireball Jesus from the Damaged Goods show
Yeah.
said, I want to hear Mike more unhinged. I think you just fucking delivered.
Hey,
Yeah.
There was a cheesecloth
Yeah.
between her and the viewer.
But I mean,
between us and her tits.
you're
is what
talking
it said.
about at that time, at that point.
I have never loved you more.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Every time I'm
But I
like,
mean-
we can do the show without Mike when he doesn't show up. No, we can't.
Yes, you can.
Because neither me or Craig would have ever said cheesecloth and tits in the same sense.
I'm just.
I would have said linen, maybe.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking about movies
Doesn't
that were
smell the same.
going on at that time. Never mind that. You know, like I mentioned we mentioned Blue Lagoon, but they were kids, but that was two kids that
That's what the
they
story was
got
all
stranded
about.
on the
Yeah, they
island,
were
and
supposed
it
to-
turned into a thing, and
And they didn't
you
have
know,
a deck of cards, so they fucked.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
fucked. I mean, Zapped, Scott Baio,
Bam!
Bayo!
where he was using got zapped and he used his powers to pull girls' panties down
And grab him in the pussy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Grab him by the pussy. Make America great again.
Yeah. That was probably the biggest fucking movie of the year, too.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
Say
that
this
was-
about Bayo, but he's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Fucking-
he actually pretended to be a babysitter just to fuck everybody in that family.
Yeah.
When Charles in charge, right?
But
What do you mean, no? Charles in charge, bitch.
Even people from the Breakfast Club. Weird Science.
Yes.
Right?
Weird Science. That whole fucking
They
premise
created
was
a woman to fuck her.
Yes, a sex fucking.
That's a good point. And it was Iron Man that did it.
Yeah. Right? But that's what they did. They created a woman to fuck her, and they did.
Yep.
You know, they did fuck her. And then they did it to lure in young girls from high school to fuck them. And they did.
God, the 80s were great, weren't they?
Right?
It was so fucking like.
So I liked Police Academy.
Oh,
I was always a
man.
big fan of Police
Yeah,
because they
definitely.
had that one. What I forget what her name was. Was it? It wasn't Krause. That was the chick from Benson.
Yeah, Kraus was
But it was-
the militant
But
one.
it was
yeah.
the real militant blonde
Yeah.
with the
Was it
huge
Kraus?
knobs.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Kraus.
It was
Oh, no.
something like that. But basically, she would do her whole thing where she was like, "I'm not taking any shit from you,
Yeah.
and I'm a woman, but I'm stronger than
Yes,
you." And it just seems so empowering. And then she ends up having sex with that guy repeatedly, and she does it, and where she basically puts herself in the victim role every time,
Yeah.
and just negated all of that. So is that maybe arguably worse? Because you had somebody who like stepped up and said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go
Yeah.
against these stereotypes, and then I'm just going to rip them down." And be like,
them
"No,
down."
I'm still a chick. Fuck." me."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that's more or less what they did for 7 fucking movies, including one in Russia.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
one made in Russia.
Long after
Oh,
Steve
hell
Gutenberg
yeah.
left. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I mean, there was a lot, and that's just the fucking tip of the iceberg. I mean, everything in the 80s was about, there was
It
always
was
something.
all about that shit.
Family
Innuendos.
We
Yeah.
all remember like Urkel. What did Urkel do? He climbed in the window of a girl who didn't want to be with him.
And harassed her daily.
All the
And
time.
basically said, "I'm not going to stop until you date me."
Yeah.
And then it took him getting an alter ego for her to actually go out with him.
Yeah.
Like basically the message there was, change who you are and then she'll win.
And then- yeah.
you'll win. And you'll win her over. But he climbed in the window of a girl who said, "I don't want to be with you." And he just kept coming at in a girl's window.
I think she
Yeah.
just knew that there was something cool inside that fucking guy. She just wanted it to come out.
I need
and
you to
fuck
tell me how you met Leslie again.
Did I do that? That's how we met, dude.
I think we all know you weren't climbing into anything.
Yeah. Unless that thing was a basement window and you were just sliding across the lawn.
Basement window
Dragging
or a
yourself.
box full of
There was a
sausage.
sliding glass door on the side.
I'll fucking crawl.
It was
into
more like Salem's Lot, where you're just banging on the door, "Let me in, let me in."
But even,
I know you got sausage in there
but I
somewhere.
mean, it's ridiculous. The fact that those movies, all that shit, that's how it was. And to prove how it was this week, Dolph Lundgren, of all people, right, comes out this week
Love him.
and says, "Hey, oh yeah, I was banging 4 or 5 chicks at a time with Grace Jones."
Oh God, why'd she have to be there?
Well, they were dating at the time. Yeah, she was. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you always
Exactly.
need
That's what I
one chick
thought.
in there that's
Well,
like
if
I mean, I've never sounded gayer.
if you're gonna
Because I'm
maintain,
like, "Oh no, this was good with Dolph Lundgren fucking everybody."
if you're gonna maintain
Why'd
a
you bring a
boner,
woman?
if you're gonna, if you're with
oh, there
Grace,
were women there. Nah.
if you're with Grace Jones, and you want to maintain a fucking boner, you need another woman. There.
Well, that's the thing. I think Grace Jones was there for the bring down factor in case he needed it. You gotta fucking
Maybe when he was, like,
instead
banging
of
the
thinking
hot
about
chick,
his
he would
mother, he
just look
just
at her
looks
for a
at Grace
second.
Jones.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking about baseball. or
Nobody
his
in that
mom.
room had a bigger boner than Grace Jones. Okay, I'm sorry. Not one of them. I can just imagine those two having sex.
Oh my
Every
God.
night, I will break you.
Yeah, it would be
And
like
she's like, that is from
it's
fucking
from
Conan.
fucking Conan.
That's
Oh,
how
man.
they didn't like attract 3
No,
other
it was
people
like-
to fuck them.
no,
they scared them into fucking.
Yeah, they captured them. Is what they did. They
If he
just-
dies, he dies.
Oh shit!
Could you imagine 8 rounds with Grace Jones? It's like she's made of iron.
she will not go down.
But I mean,
So what we're saying is go see Creed 2.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
definitely.
yeah,
He's in
actually
it.
he's
gonna be in
reprising
it.
his role as Drago,
Yep.
and he's going to
Reprising his
be
role. He's been writing this script for 30 years.
Yeah,
he's
no
gonna
shit.
he's going to be training his son Victor.
Oh boy.
That's with a K, right?
Yeah,
Of
yes,
course.
yes.
Of course. Why
Of
wouldn't
course, it's Russian. It's a backwards K.
An upside down
like
R.
a J.
Yeah. But he's reprising his role. But Dolph Lundgren, though, he came out and he said all this stuff, and I was like, wow, that's fucked up, because he was talking about, this is the thing, is you think of him as fucking Drago. I will break you like a dummy.
Or
And
as
you
the
see
worst
him-
Punisher ever.
Yeah, or as the worst Punisher ever. And you see him in all these movies, and you're like, this guy's a fucking dummy. You know? He is not a fucking dummy.
Oh, he's a smart
The
motherfucker,
guy's
man.
fucking brilliant.
He's got a few
This is a
degrees.
guy- He's
No?
gonna, yeah, he has several degrees in chemical engineering, and what happened was he was coming. He's from Sweden. He was coming to the United States on a scholarship to MIT for chemical engineering, and he was on a full scholarship to MIT. So you don't get that for being an idiot.
No, no way.
And he came here. When he came here, he started to make money on the side. He became a bouncer at a club. And that's how he met Grace Jones.
Chemical engineering. Have you seen him
And
lately? It looks
that
like
was
he's
it.
back in
and
that
then
role.
he left and he went to New York with Grace Jones, and to hang out with her. And he said, "I'm going to be an actor." And
Okay,
he
you
landed
gotta
a couple
fuck
of
me.
stupid roles here and there, small, tiny things. He was in GoldenEye, I think. Quit for
No,
you
it
know,
was another movie earlier.
Golden
than
Girls.
that.
yeah, no, earlier than that, but
Yeah.
no, he was in a James Bond movie. I don't know if it was GoldenEye or whatever one
Yeah,
it
he
was.
played Thug number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But he
Euro
did
trash
that.
Thug number 3.
And then the biggest thing was then he landed the role as Drago.
Fucking
And
perfect
he said,
role, man.
He said this was his complaint. Yes, I was. Yeah, sometimes it's like 3, maybe 5 at the most. He's talking about girls that they were all having sex, and he goes, and it's not that great of an idea. It sounds good, but it's not that good of an idea. You
not.
got to get up in the morning and go and fight Sylvester Stallone the next day. You say like to do the movie.
Yeah.
Like gotta get up and go to work in the morning. Are you out of your fucking mind? What the fuck is wrong
Oh,
with
well,
you?
you got a lot of shit going on, man.
Who?
That's
What?
how it goes, man.
No.
Well, he's dedicated to his work.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I
that.
still
Yeah, I
think
appreciate that too, but if somebody said to me, I will strip you of all employment for the rest of your life and you will live in a cardboard box. But I have you bang these 5 supermodels tonight. Tomorrow I'd be like, got any change? Got any
See, but
change?
this is where I question how smart he is. Because, yeah, he fucked 5 supermodels that night, but he went home with a woman whose pussy had 3 rows of teeth.
fucking Snatch was like the
Yeah.
Sarlacc pit.
She was vicious. I think she
Fucking
sold like
Empire.
80,000 Ninja motorcycles just in fear.
Just if you were
People
buying
were
them 'cause they
afraid
thought
to
they
buy.
had to.
I was thinking about a Harley. Think again.
I still think it's gonna come out that fucking Sylvester Stallone was one of those 5 fucking women that he was banging that night.
No, but I mean,
He's shoving in his ass prematurely. Hey, yo.
but I was, for the longest time, I looked at Dolph Lundgren as just like a goofy, muscle-bound motherfucker that came into the United States, like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
and came in and just,
You mean former governor?
yeah. But that's what I mean, and I was wrong again. The guy's fucking brilliant.
It's a joke as old as time. How many cab drivers were physicists back in the old country?
Yes.
Now, is that a question of the American system not working for immigrants? Or is that just maybe it doesn't take that much to have a doctorate from another country?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but the fact that Dolph Lundgren has made so many bad career decisions, I think he was in Universal Soldier 9
Yeah.
because the guy from 1 through 8 just decided that it wasn't really benefiting him anymore.
I just watched him on a zombie movie on the Sci-Fi Channel that was fucking worse than a zombie movie made on the Sci-Fi Channel. It was fucking horrendous.
Why? Did he moan with an accent?
Oh no, it was fucking horrendous. But so he's not sitting in the lab right now, fucking whipping up some fucking cancer cure. He's making zombie movies, man.
Well, he not too long ago,
Give him
didn't he? Wasn't he in the not the Untouchables? What the fuck was it?
yeah, it was the Untouchables.
Untouchables? Was it Untouchables?
No,
Untouchables
that was
like
Ellie's
80s. That's
Actually,
another
It
80s
was in the
movie.
Expendables.
Expendables. That's it.
Yeah, The
that's it,
Untouchables was a
Was
classic
a classic
gangster movie
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
great,
yeah, yeah.
with
Great
Kevin
fuck-
Costner
great movie.
and a whole bunch of actual
No,
actors.
hold
Yes.
on. You just said Kevin Costner, so it wasn't that classic.
Okay, I want you to put that up against the zombie movie you just described.
I know.
Great
know
movie.
what's funny is Kevin Costner should be acting in those zombie movies. He's just like the same person in every movie.
I
ever.
thought he was great as Superman's dad getting sucked up by a tornado. I don't think there's
Yeah, he
any-
was. That was his best role.
He was great as formerly Bull Durham.
Waterworld.
Dolph Lundgren would have made that movie better.
It would have been better with Dolph Lundgren. If you slapped gills behind Dolph Lundgren's ears and fucking threw him in a fucking pond, it was way better.
I will dry you.
I will drown you.
Whatever.
What the fuck?
Holy shit.
Fuck, man.
Then there was Risky Business with Tom Cruise,
Good flick.
right?
Tommy Cruise.
Parents go away for a weekend, slide across the floor in your underwear, listen to Bob Seger.
That's what
You
I
know,
do.
Slide across the floor, jump all over the couch, whatever.
run down to the local liquor store, try to get someone to buy you booze.
It's just
in
funny.
your
You
dad's
mentioned Bob
Porsche.
Seger, and I think Silver Bullet.
Right.
And the thing with Silver Bullets is that was always the suppository when you were constipated.
When you say Silver Bullet, I think of Corey Haim in a
Me
wheelchair.
too, man. Me too. Me too. Werewolves, bro.
Now I think about Corey Haim in a casket. That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible.
terrible.
No,
I'd like to see him in a wheelchair now.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
great.
I got that. It's a
No
prop.
eyes.
It's
So
a
that he
prop.
get his mouth to move, license to drive.
Yeah.
I'm a lost boy.
Oh shit. No, but Risky Business. I mean, he did all this. He gets all driving his father's Porsche, cranks up the equalizer, he pushes all the levels up all the way, and I'm like, wow, it must sound like shit.
Yeah.
As soon as he did that, but then he goes to get a hooker. He's a high school student. Then he's gonna.
Probably not her first.
I was going to say, in the wake of the Me Too movement, now hookers have a very strict hiring policy.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
not
they
called
do.
hookers
Most
anymore.
pimps check ID now.
Yeah.
And hookers, is hookers acceptable
No, the
acceptable
ladies
these
of the
days?
night.
No, ladies of the night is no.
I believe
it's
escorts.
escorts.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's where they want to go with
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Oh, all right.
All right, so
So
he
not
got-
calling them hoes anymore.
yeah. Only when you pay them enough. That's the only
or
time
if you're
you can say
rapping,
it.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No,
Dump
but-
boxes.
No
But I
one,
mean-
no one going after rappers for all this shit.
No, but
by the way.
that's a movie where, like I said, it's a great movie. It's a classic.
I guess I've seen
You know?
it once. That
And
was
this
enough
is
for
a
me.
high school student who gets a hooker who is in her 20s, and she lives at his house for a week, and they bang.
I
cook
think
some
that
food.
the story here, every 80s movie always involved the parents not knowing.
Yeah.
That was it. It was always doing something to get away with something.
Yep.
Ferris Bueller got
Ferris
famous
Bueller.
on this because his parents were oblivious. They
And he
seemed like
banged
nice.
Sloane in the pool.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, Cameron was passed out somewhere
Yeah.
debating his own suicide.
Poor Cameron.
Yeah.
I still think that whole movie is Cameron. He killed himself, and he's just reflecting.
Reflecting back.
Yeah, I really think he killed himself when he saw his dad's car in the garage.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
But whatever. I wonder, like, are we overthinking this? But there are some things from the 80s. Risky Business was a kid getting away with shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of Revenge of the Nerds was the underdog overcoming something. What about something like Back to the Future?
Oh, the underdog raping the popular girl in
Well,
the fucking
he
in
o-
the bouncy house.
Yes. He overcame the
Pay
police,
attention, Jerry.
which would have prevented him from raping somebody in plain daylight.
Yeah.
He had to go to a bouncy house, the moon. It was the moon bounce, I believe.
Yeah, the mood. Yeah, it was.
But he raped her.
Yeah, totally.
And then at the end, she's like, wow, nerds are great.
Yeah.
Because that's how a rape victim should reply.
Yeah, exactly. And that movie also started off with them guys breaking into their house and stealing their panties.
That's right.
Yeah, panty raid. That's how it started. Yep.
But what about a movie like Back to the Future, which is long considered a family classic.
Definitely.
Yes.
A movie that we all
It is.
grew up. It is.
No, it is.
Appreciate-
A family classic.
Until you look back at Biff. And Biff is made to be like a comical punchline. You know, in all three of the movies, there's a Biff, and he's kind of a joke, and, you know, make like a tree and get out of here. But Biff also had some lines
Yeah.
that weren't so funny.
No.
And at one point, right around when they were pushing her in the car, and all the other guys that hung out with Biff were cheering him on,
Yeah.
and McFly shows up to White Knight her, and he goes, "Hey, just turn around and walk away, McFly. Like, don't get involved."
Yeah.
How would that fly today? How would that McFly today?
Yeah. No, exactly. No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't McFly today.
Well, actually, that scene, if you think about it, it didn't really happen, and he kind of saved her from it, so it could still.
But he was muscling her down. She was screaming,
Yes.
"No, no, no!"
Right, and we had the
Literally
hero
expressing
come
her intent. I do not want to do whatever it is you're about to do to me.
right. But that I mean,
It was a rape scene.
It was a rape. scene.
yes,
a
but
rape
it was prevented by the hero,
All
right?
right,
Yeah,
but
it was
but
the-
then,
That's why it
but,
would.
But there's a little twist here. In the alternate future, after Marty goes in and kisses his mom and whatever else,
Calvin.
yeah. But he's in the driveway. Biff is now working for George McFly.
Yep.
And he's washing his car. Now, I don't know how you guys would operate, and I'm curious.
You're totally right. You're totally right.
But
I know.
if I'm standing on my porch and saying, "Hey, make sure you get the tires," and by the way, thanks for not raping my wife all those years ago. I don't think that's a happy ending.
No, it's
No
definitely
matter
not a
which
happy
Back to
ending.
the Future it was, and if they're in the Old West, same thing.
Same
Yeah.
fucking
Even in
thing
the Old
goes.
West. Now, I
It's
think
even
they
worse.
were going for the 1950s aesthetic, which was
Yeah.
guys were in charge and women were subservient, and I think they were trying to play on that. But Leah Thompson said, "No, please don't,"
Yeah.
and that's rape, no matter what decade you're in.
It is.
Don't do this to me. And he did it. And if George didn't show up with that limp right hand, it would have happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and that movie is really kind of fucked up when you break it down, man. It really is.
No, it is. I mean,
That said, my kids are watching it as we speak.
it's a classic, you know, but like you said, it's fucked up. There's fucked up shit in it. But is it real life stuff? You know what I mean? Is it thrown in there as a real life?
Back to the Future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a time travel
Caution.
movie, so there's only so much real life that you
No,
can have.
but I'm saying a real life situation.
Well, yeah,
You know,
that's a real
which-
life
which is
situation.
ter-
No
and
matter
don't-
what
it's not a good
decade
situation.
It was a
watching.
dramatic scene in an otherwise funny movie.
Yes.
All of that movie
So-
was played on nostalgia and goofing around,
Yes.
but this was kind of a nostalgic thing that maybe people didn't want to remember because there's probably countless women who were muscled by the captain of the football team in the
to
back of their car.
Went to the fucking drive-in and said, "Oh, you want to ride home?
Yeah,
You're gonna fucking wail on this thing for
that's
a minute."
it.
Hell yeah, man.
And
Hell
you know
yeah.
that happened.
Of course it happened.
It did.
You know,
But then what about fucking like stupid funny comedies that went out of control with fucking shit like that, like Benny Hill?
Oh,
yes.
How about something like
Yeah.
that?
Benny Hill
Everybody
was just
fucking
a hashtag. It should have just been called hashtag Me Too.
yes, exactly.
fucked.
Because that's all that
it
fucking
was
show was
hashtag
about.
me.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
was it.
That was
exactly.
it.
There was no. Yeah. It
Everything
was all
was
about
that
the man.
fast forward motion of Benny Hill chasing women that didn't want
and
to
the
be
little
chased.
They were half
bald guy with
naked.
his toupee falling
And
off
he's
every 2
slapping him in
seconds.
the head, slapping him on his forehead all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, but he was charming though because he was British.
Yeah,
And
see
it was
what
okay.
the
He was a
fuck?
filthy old man. And my grandfather was the one that turned me on to Benny Hill.
My grandfather
that's-
turned me on to
That's
Benny
how I
Hill
watched
too.
Benny Hill. Was my grandfather was like, "Oh,
we
Benny
wa-
Hill's on."
Our grandfathers turned us on to Benny Hill.
Our grandfathers were disgusting.
Needless to say,
Every time,
man,
I was
that's
like, when I
great.
first started dating her, I was like 13. I'm like,
Okay, this is when you bend over. Ready?
I'm gonna hold these 2 cherry pies in front of your boobs to make it look like your tits are out.
Yeah, freaking chick
then
hanging out at a
yeah,
at a
I'd grab her
melon
tits
fucking
and then
store.
look for a cameraman that wasn't there. And I'd just look at him and smirk.
Yeah.
I'd wink at him twice.
Okay, this is when, this is when I chase you. Ready? Run.
Run, run. You don't want
'cause
to
you don't-
run,
you don't
but
want-
I'm gonna catch you.
Yeah, you don't want me to catch you, so you need
It was
to run.
just a entire
And it was
fucking
funny.
rape show.
That's what the whole fucking show was about. Was about fucking him trying to bang chicks that didn't want to get banged by him.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's all it was, and it was fucking just. It was
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
fucked up.
All right, so we've done TV.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we've done movies, we've done TV. What about like music? Now, there's a big resurgence right now with the whole 80s nostalgia. Because
Yes.
believe it or not, the 80s was 30 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
Bands that we think are still relevant haven't been in 25 years. And the music that they made, there's a reason it's not really big right now. You know, sure, you get your nostalgia bands and everything, but could bands like Poison and Rat and the bands that we grew up loving, would any of them even hold up today? And, you know, nostalgia aside.
Every song Van Halen ever wrote,
Yes.
everything Van Halen ever recorded, was the objectification of women.
Agreed.
That's pretty much
Everything.
true. That's
How to
definitely
teach ya.
true.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
God.
He managed to take down a profession.
Yeah, he was fucking a teacher.
Every kid that heard that video when they were in the kindergarten ended up fucking their art teacher later, and we're just
Yeah.
finding out about him now.
Jamie's
Well,
crying.
nobody talked about it back then.
Oh, yeah.
But now, 20 years later, every kid that bangs his teacher is going to call his mom.
How many fucking dirtbags in the 80s went up to their teacher and was like, I got my pencil.
Yeah. Give me something to write on.
Yeah, that's it.
Jamie's crying. Why?
What is
Do we know? Do we know exactly why she's
You went
crying?
to church.
Yeah. She got smacked down her ass.
That's right. They was like, ain't talking about love.
Yeah.
You know, I
right.
think I
Talking
get it,
about
man.
love.
Right.
Let's talk about fucking.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then he went down to Central America, Panama.
Yep. And if you don't do
right
this,
in her canal. All right, but what about a song like Poison? Like Look What the Cat Dragged In. The
Yeah.
whole idea of Look What the Cat Dragged In is like, you know what? I literally treat myself like a fucking urinal.
yes,
All right,
exactly.
and I'm out all night and I'm sleeping all day, and I woke up with 6 girls and I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Could you write those lyrics today?
No.
And if what band could? Right? And like
Yeah,
most of the
yeah.
bands today, they're all writing introspective stuff, and it's all really aware and really, really, really conscious.
Well, okay, so how about this?
Woke.
How
You
about
just
this
wanna
now?
Say that once an
I
episode.
wicked wanted to say
How
that.
about this now? How about we drop the music, keep the lyrics, and insert those lyrics into
the gospel?
funk into funky R&B shit or rap that's coming out now.
Why'd you throw up air quotes? It's called rap.
Yeah,
Well,
it's called
yeah.
rap, and
Well,
they've been doing
okay.
it for years.
All right,
They're like, that
okay.
bitch been sucking my dick around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. But how
So-
about if you insert those lyrics into that kind of fucking music? Would they get away with it now? Yes.
Well, they are. I mean,
They
I,
are
getting
getting
away
away
with
with
that.
it.
They are, but I don't know what modern rap looks like. I know there's this weird resurgence of white rappers
With face tattoos.
with face tattoos.
Yeah.
like a
I don't know.
ridiculous amount of face tattoos.
The R&B culture is different. And we none of us come from that, so I don't think we're qualified to talk about
Well,
it.
that's what sucks though. But fucking like our culture is like, you know what I mean. We can fucking be dropped for any single thing that we do, no matter if it's music, movies, thoughts.
What do you mean by drop?
Anything.
It's still out there. Nobody's
I
banned
don't-
risky business.
No, but I
No.
mean condemned by certain.
Yeah.
You know, our music's been
Demographics.
condemned anyway. When we were kids, our 80s music was considered shitty by people like 60s music.
When-
Not
and
shit.
actually
I'm
went to the
not talking
Supreme
about
Court.
shitty. I'm not talking about like shitty.
Well, but
like,
lyrically, it
I'm
was
talking
considered
about
evil.
It went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it was
yes.
considered degenerate.
Right.
And then, but the 60s music was considered degenerate by those who like music of the 40s. Nothing has changed.
No, but
Okay,
but the
rock
thing
and roll
is,
still rock and roll, and the young people today are still making music that we're going to consider shitty.
right? But
Because
all the
we're
evil,
not young. I mean,
but all-
let's be
but-
real.
Yeah.
No, right, but in the '80s with all that like evil shit and everything, yeah, that's you and the devil or whatever. But I'm talking about like fucking rap shit with that's like you're demeaning women. You know what I mean? It's
everybody's
fucking.
been
So
doing
was
it.
Poison
And it-
20 years earlier.
Yeah.
Not really though. No,
No, of
come
course
on.
they were.
I mean,
I mean, maybe they didn't phrase it so
Yeah,
directly. Maybe they
exactly.
didn't come out and be like, I smacked my bitch.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, that gangster thing is dead now. Nobody's really doing that.
No.
anymore.
No, but still,
Today's rap is all about society.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
I'm
the football
just
players
saying
smack
why.
their bitches.
I'm just saying why no one ever fucking came down on it
Oh,
or
they're
comes
plenty.
down it.
No, they
on
do.
They
it.
totally
Not
are.
like I mean,
They
but
have for years. I mean, NWA couldn't release albums. The Wu-Tang Clan had to release an album privately.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right
Yeah.
too.
And
Yeah,
this
you're
is
right
going
about
back-
that.
I mean,
Okay,
rap didn't get an
You're
easy
right.
pass.
no,
No.
Okay,
not
but
at
the
all.
quality of the music transcended the lyrics, and the same went for the good rock bands that we like and the good metal bands.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know,
I guess.
it was all about who was complaining.
Right.
You know, but a bunch of white people in suits in Congress talking about young rock and roll or young rap music is irrelevant. That's not the audience. You're not going to get it.
Right.
What I don't understand is today is that most of the lyrics are trying to be socially aware and trying to be a little more intelligent, but
Yeah.
they're doing it in a manner that nobody can understand.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the best lyrics I've ever read about our government came from death metal bands where these guys belch
That's true,
into
man.
a
Yeah.
That's true.
microphone.
Yep.
And then other ones come from this new mumble rap that's going on. All the kids today are mumble rapping, and you can't understand a fucking thing they're saying, and you really want to because the music ain't bad.
Yeah, but see, that makes
no, I
you
know
buy
what you're
their
saying.
CDs because you have to buy the fucking
The
CD
lyrics,
to
yeah,
read the
but-
lyrics.
but
you
also
know?
nobody's buying CDs anymore.
I know that's
I
another
guarantee
thing,
you
too.
they made 100 CDs.
You gotta wait for the YouTube video to come out with the lyrics.
With the lyrics, you know,
Yeah.
you got to put on captions
Yeah.
to understand a guy who was like born in Syracuse.
yeah, yeah.
I think we're showing our age here.
No, and
Yeah,
I get,
we are,
I get
but-
it. I'm not saying it's terrible. Because to be honest with you, there was a song not too long ago that my niece played for me. That was some rap song that I was like, well, that actually was pretty good. Yeah. And I enjoyed it.
Of course,
cool.
they're
it was
out
cool.
there.
Musically,
So
it's
it's-
there.
I'm
it
not.
was
I'm
there.
not putting down rap at all. Believe me, because I'm fucking the kings of rap, man. Where
Yeah,
it all
oh, yeah.
started.
Let's get back on point here, though. It was all about the lyrics
Yes.
and the Me Too thing.
Yep.
And you mentioned, you know, what songs and what lyrics could they get away with today? And I remember back when I was in college, there was a band called Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes.
And
I
they,
remember them.
And they had a song called Me and My Bitch. And it was supposedly a love song. And I had a girl who I was
love
trying to
song.
hook up with. This girl, Crystal, I won't put her last name in, but this girl, Crystal. And she actually tried to convince me for an hour and a half that this lyric was a love song. It was like a poem, an ode.
That
And
is
even
fucked
then,
up.
I was 19. You know, this wasn't
Thanks,
like
brother.
I was old. Maybe I was an old soul.
But you were like, me and my bitch, she's sucking my dick in the back seat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It-
My
it
Buick,
was all
bitch.
about how he got her and how dedicated he was to getting her.
Yeah.
And then eventually he won her and is like, oh, me and my bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, how do you get away with that lyric 20 years ago, much less now?
But don't we all get away with that? We're all three of
Yeah,
us are married. We
exactly.
got away with that, right? Because we fucking all did that, and then we married our bitches, and now we call them bitches if we want, right?
In your house, maybe.
I'm just kidding.
I want
Those
to
are
walk with a
jokes.
limp tomorrow. I'll call Melissa.
Oh,
bitch.
you see me walk?
I remember
Yeah,
once
okay.
it was last Christmas or 2 Christmases ago, and we were at the, like, our town does a big lighting, like the grand illumination.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big deal. The town looks really pretty. They do it all in
Yeah.
white lights or whatever. But at one point, I just didn't want to be there, and I was in a foul fucking mood. And I was sending her texts. I'm like, I got to walk away. It's too crowded. I got to get off the main drag. And I texted Melissa, and you know that thing on the iPhone, now you got one, you know, that if you hit too many characters, sometimes you hit the wrong one.
Yes.
And the one character I hit by accident was B. And so I said, you know what? I'm right here. I fucking had it. And then I went B. And she thought I called her a bitch. And she's storming
No way.
through downtown
dude.
Bristol
Oh
with
my
2 kids in tow. This son of a bitch just called me a bitch.
Through a bunch of people that are like
Yeah,
having a great
she
time,
was
like
fucking
laughing.
not having
and-
it. And she writes me back, can't believe you called me a bitch. Meet me at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I didn't call you a bitch. My thumb is too fucking fat.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
typed B by accident because they put it right on the bottom row. God damn it all.
Oh my God.
I was so
dude,
goddamn
that's
mad.
fucking awesome.
But even then, I couldn't call my wife a bitch. I wouldn't call a girlfriend a bitch
Yeah.
then or now.
Unless you're fighting.
No, I wouldn't even do that because, you know, if it was worth fighting for and it was worth having the argument, then I wouldn't want to risk losing her.
Yeah.
If she was somebody I wanted to get rid of, I would have
Oh,
called
yeah.
her a bitch right away and saved
yeah.
myself the argument.
Yeah.
Fucking make T-shirts like, "Hey, bitch," with her
Yeah, would have
picture
had
under
it, like,
it.
light up with Christmas lights. All right. So, yeah, I think we've covered it. Like, Me Too is a meaningful movement. And
It is.
But it's
Of course,
getting
man.
watered down.
Big time.
It's just
Because we just
it
spent-
starts, it loses its meaning
Well, we
by
spent 40
all these
minutes doing
fucking
this.
people. Well, we should spend a whole show doing it. It's really that important to me. I'm serious. It is, but it's kind of like we don't want to get hung up on the boy that cries fucking wolf. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Well, that's
people
the
are
thing.
doing
Yeah.
to this movement. Is they're fucking like they're hooking on
It's
stupid
getting watered
things.
down.
They're getting hooked on dumb things that shouldn't deserve all this attention, instead of fucking, you know, putting all the
Yeah.
attention on people that are really getting hurt and fucking shit like
People,
that. You
yeah,
know what
that
I'm
are
saying?
really getting violated by
Like, oh
these
my
things.
God, he called her a bitch
Or
or
he said,
whatever they were,
you know,
this or that. Okay,
I mean,
whatever.
Someone gets catcalled.
Jesus Christ.
You know, catcalled out in the street now has become this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And is catcalling some girl walking down the street fucking
Right.
nasty?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
it is. It's
Yeah,
fucking
well,
stupid.
What the fuck? Oh,
It's
wait.
demeaning.
Oh, we got to get that guy fired now for doing that.
No, it's-
if
yeah.
he does, if it's a fucking big deal, if he does it every day to every woman, or he womanizes
Yeah.
other people, yeah, fire
But
the
I mean,
motherfucker.
You know,
But don't fucking, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just to me, it's gone way too far. But that's a tricky fucking thing. It's a tricky line to walk because you don't want fucking women that have been hurt by all this
no,
crap
of course not.
to fucking, you know,
course
not
not.
be
Well,
recognized.
that's
and
what I'm
fucking-
saying. I think the real assholes here, and I'm sorry for cutting in, but the real assholes here aren't the ones that are like dismissing the Me Too movement. It's the ones that continue to harp on the hashtag
Yes.
Yes.
and minimizing the ultimate effect.
The ultimate.
Right.
effect.
There are real victims out there.
Of course there are.
And there are a
And that's what
ridiculous
pisses
amount
me
of
off
them.
more than
Yeah.
any of it.
But when you got like an Asia Argento, who basically more or less caused the death of that douchebag Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
All right, where she more or less served as a mouthpiece for this movement and then ended up sexually harassing somebody
No
herself.
shit, exactly.
You've just ruined it.
Yeah,
for
you're-
so many.
But not only,
Right.
I mean, not only that, if
You're
if
totally right with that
you're
one.
screaming out to the world, like I said about the catcalls, if you're screaming out to the world because some guy fucking whistled at you as you walked by and said, "Hey, nice ass, woman," you know.
Yeah, think about
Yo,
the woman
and
down
you're-
the
and you're
street that
taking-
got raped
yeah,
and
think
fucking this
on-
and that and everything, and she had no help and this
Or
and that.
was-
And you're getting all this publicity on your stupid ass for something like that.
Yes.
That's what's that's
That's
what,
what I'm
and,
getting.
and
I
it's
wish
not
people
just the
would
me.
catcall us.
Right?
I would
Why,
love
they
to-
don't?
I would love to walk
Hey,
into
fat cock, come here.
Then I'm like, hey, whatever.
They'd be lying, but I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll be there."
But really, all
up,
right. I
massive
know
balls?
we get a little too serious there, but it's true though, man. It's fucked up. Yeah, I think we're being way too serious, guys. You know, way too serious.
People hate when we make points.
Right?
Yeah,
They
I know.
fucking hate it.
I know. But anyway, we got any other stupid headlines going on?
We do.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
Imagine that.
run-
We stocked up.
5-page.
The Jets running back. He's cashing in on grossness.
That was the headline.
Yeah, it was the headline.
It was the grossest TD celebration.
I had to
ever.
watch it exactly, and he scored a touchdown. And you see those guys that dance or they do the drop on the ground.
Yeah,
like
they do all
something
kinds
happens.
of stupid shit.
No, he wiped his ass with the football,
Yeah.
With the football.
like several times, directly in the crack of his ass. Like,
Oh, really?
I'm using this as toilet
was he
paper.
just like once?
No. He was like, I'm using this football as toilet paper.
And he went up and down that led me to believe he
Yeah,
didn't know
he's
how to
gonna
wipe
get-
his
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, he did. He had
Get
no
an
idea.
infection.
Yeah.
He's gonna get an infection.
He was wiping back to front.
Yeah.
Look, he was just being efficient. He was using the whole ball.
Yeah.
All right.
And but
He flipped it over.
He's turning like a corkscrew fucking as he was doing
For the
it.
record, this is one of
he ended off with the laces like a bidet. Like water boy ran up.
What a boy.
the Gatorade bucket out. It was Isaiah Crowell of the New York
Yes.
Jets, and he's one of two terrible Jets running backs.
Yeah.
Wicked terrible, man.
And he sucks. And
Yeah.
they suck. But I'm a Giants fan, so we suck worse.
But what the fuck? I mean, you would never see him do that if he wasn't playing the Browns. Come on,
Yeah,
dude.
he
He was
scored a
playing the
touchdown.
fucking Browns, too.
That's why.
Yeah, all kinds of Browns all over the place.
I'm
but-
just glad he wasn't playing the Chargers. Yeah. But, I mean, these touchdown celebrations going a little too far. I mean, yeah, he took the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point now where it's not even really safe to watch these games with kids anymore.
Yeah, I know, man.
The guy
Well,
wiped
why
his
was he
ass with a
doing
football.
that?
I'm trying
Yeah.
to teach my kid that sporting is
To
all
be
about teamwork
Sportsmanship.
and,
Yes.
and all that stuff. And I'm trying not to be lame dad on here, but it's stupid now. I'm embarrassed for this guy.
Yes.
Because he felt like, the Jets scored 1 touchdown in 6 games. Congratulations.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to wipe my ass with the football.
Yeah. Exactly.
And, that almost reflects badly on everybody else you play with that worked hard to make that touchdown
No
happen
shit.
for you.
How many people on his team do you think fucking said, what a fucking clown?
Well,
What
I mean,
an
again, I
idiot."
mentioned I'm a Giants fan, and we got one of the biggest clowns in the league
Yeah,
that we
you
just
do.
signed to a $95 million contract. Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most immature 26-year-olds I've ever seen. He's
One of the
also-
most talented
But he's
26-year-olds,
insanely
too.
talented, and that's why he got the contract. But
Exactly.
he held out for the money. He did. He's a brat, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, he's a pain in the dick.
He just
He's a
he
cancer.
needs to grow up.
Well,
that's
he's,
all.
he's
He needs to
becoming
grow
one
up a
because
little
he's
bit.
on a losing team. And you see people's
he
true
will
colors.
continually be on a losing team because he's a
As
cancer.
long as he stays with the Giants, he will.
Well, that's
I mean, look at other
Just kidding.
other players that were like him.
well. You got Randy Moss who bounced around the league.
Bounced around the league, but Randy Moss had a little more class than he did,
We're
and that's
talking-
not saying much.
It's not saying much, and honestly, it's debatable.
But what about what's his name?
It was all me first. There's another hashtag instead
Me
of me
first.
too.
Terrell
Yeah.
Owens.
It's me first,
Yeah,
and he was a me first player. Randy Moss was a me first player.
Terrell Owens.
Terrell
Owens
was just a dick. He wasn't disrespectful.
And since you want to
like
talk
that.
about your price Steelers, how about your running back?
What
you
about him?
stupid son of a
Yeah.
bitch? Le'Veon
Le'Veon
Bell
Bell.
is the biggest.
Oh
Me Too
no!
player in
I
the
thought
world.
you were talking about Connor because that's my running back now, man. He's doing great. Fuck
there you go.
Bell.
But what I'm saying is this: you got a guy like Saquon Barkley, the one shining light on the Giants. This is a kid that just got out of college, and it would be real easy for him to be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to do whatever my teammates do."
Yeah.
And he scored a touchdown in week 2, and Odell Beckham ran to him right immediately and said, "Yeah, let's start dancing." And he ran by him.
That was the
and
best.
basically pushed him out of the way.
That was my favorite
Yeah.
highlight of the fucking week.
was
Out
brilliant.
of any game, dude. It was great.
And apparently on the sideline they had a conversation. It's like, "How come you didn't dance with me?" And Odell was getting all huffy, like, "I'm the veteran here," and this. And the kid said, "When we start winning as a team, we'll start celebrating."
yeah,
Yeah.
The kid
You're
scored a
gonna fucking
touchdown to get them
lose.
back in the game.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know? And so, in my
Like, we
opinion,
needed this, not in your face.
yeah,
In your face for what?
yeah. Scoreboard.
losing.
Remember,
Yeah,
you used to yell
yeah.
that. Yeah, you score against me. Scoreboard. Check
Yeah.
the scoreboard. The Giants are terrible. I'm still a fan. I'll always be a fan.
course.
But it's getting harder to watch the clowns. But you got a kid like that, I'll watch him every week.
Yeah.
yeah,
And my
guaranteed.
hat is tipped because at least somebody on his coaching staff in college got it right.
Respect, man. He
Exactly.
respects people.
And you know what? You
He
respect
respects
the
the
game.
game.
Respect the fucking
He respects
game.
the
And he
game.
respects the fact that
He respects.
he's going to make a ton of money.
He respects his fans by doing that because
and
his
I think
fans
Craig's got
like
the biggest point of all.
He can make a
He's
ton
making
of
a
money
shit ton of money.
Yeah, he's making
to
all
play
kinds
a
of money.
game.
to play a game, and
have
so
fun.
might as well be honorable about it.
Be a
I
role
mean,
model.
Be a role model.
I know that Charles Barkley commercial from 25 years ago was like, "I'm not a role model." Fuck yeah, you are.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
if you're
Yeah.
in the limelight of
No,
any
that's it.
profession, man, I'm sorry to tell you, you can tell yourself as many times as you want you're not a role model, but there's always at least one kid out there that's gonna fucking have
Yeah.
you as a role model.
That's why Odell's
So,
messed up because
yeah.
he grew up idolizing Randy Moss
yeah.
and fucking Terrell Owens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, he watched what they did, and then he held out when everybody else was practicing. He was sitting there with his agent and his
I think-
lawyer.
Yeah.
I think a lot has to do with the people that he grows up in his career with too. If you allow someone to do that around you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
he
your
should have had
parents, your
somebody,
family. It's like, son, I'm gonna fucking
Shut the
smack
fuck
you
up.
upside the head.
You ain't
Do
that
what's
fucking
right,
good.
and that's
Yeah.
it. So I mean, I
You ain't
don't
that
know.
fucking
I don't
good till you
know
prove
his
it.
situation or
Yeah, you're
you know
great,
any of their
but,
situations.
So what do
but-
we do with Crowell though? I mean, he wiped his ass with the game ball.
I would fucking fire him because he's not that good. But
He's the best running back
Yeah,
on the
but
Jets.
but he's on the Jets, dude.
Which,
I-
if there
he
wasn't a
broke-
gold medal Special Olympics Joe
J-E-S-T.
Tomei, that was it.
if he pulled a hamstring right now and I had a ticket, I'd be the second best running back on the Jets.
And he can't even jump over a dime.
All right, so go with me on this. Automatic 35-yard penalty.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be an automatic penalty.
15 yards ain't doing it anymore.
No.
No.
This is a big play league now.
No.
35 yards, I think, gets their attention.
Even
Gets
20
their
yards. 20 yards.
Fuck
even,
you. I said
it's-
35. I'm going with it.
All right, why don't
Yeah.
we just fucking give him fucking 3 points?
There you go.
I'm
Or
all
give
for
him,
it.
I'll give him 1 point. How's that?
I'm all for it.
Even
Take-
1 point.
you know
That
what?
would be fucking cool.
I like
Give
3
him
better.
1 point.
Okay,
Well,
the
you just
point-
give him handy wipes to wipe their
No, it's not handy wipes.
because that's
They're
what happened
called
with him.
dude wipes.
or you make him
kid.
actually take a deuce, like right in front of the
They're
stadium.
called dude wipes.
Because we're
Come on
talking
now.
about this, and that's what happened. He got an endorsement.
He got a fucking endorsement.
Well, that was the hook of the story, is that we're rewarding this behavior.
Yeah.
Whether we're rewarding it by cheering them or, in this case, Dude Wipes, which is an actual baby wipe company for men, where they literally took baby wipes and sprayed it to smell like
Right.
Paco Rabanne.
Yeah.
Okay, and then said,
Rabanne.
okay, wipe your asshole with
But-
this now.
Yeah.
And now they're endorsing Isaiah Crowell, who would otherwise never get an endorsement.
Well, I
Yeah.
heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that some kind of fucking works were in that. So that's
Maybe.
why
It might have
he
been.
did it in the end
They were like-
zone after.
Yeah.
They just randomly went to the
No,
Jets.
not
They were
random.
like,
Oh,
No,
if
the-
you-
like
in the
a
next
bunch of
10 years,
people,
if you
they
score
did.
a touchdown,
exactly.
No,
we'll give you this
If
deal.
you ever stumble across an end zone.
dude, we're talking about dude wipes. All right,
All
bro.
right, but again,
I think-
why would you pick somebody who has no name?
Not just one guy. I think they reached out to a bunch of people and said
They went to the Jets, who never score.
Yeah.
And said, when you do,
they were playing the
They're
Browns.
like, oh, if we're
once
going to be
again.
dealing with things around a toilet, let's deal with the Jets, the Browns.
And the Browns.
Yeah.
They were both in the same game. That's why
They
they were
had a
all
couple-
over
in a
there.
stadium built on a swamp. Exactly.
Right?
That's
Where
what it
else?
was.
Where else
That's
would
what it
you?
was.
Where else would you freaking
Where
promote
else does
dude
he go?
wipes?
One of these motherfuckers is going to score a touchdown, and we're going to have him wipe his ass with the football
Yes.
and give him
Where?
fucking $10,000.
Where
because
else?
he ain't making
Where
that
else
much.
would
I
you
think it
promote
should have
dude
been
wipes?
Vinny Testaverde. And he just put his
my
hairy
birdie.
Italian ass up there. Said, watch the Dude Wipes just clean me.
Yeah.
Just like that defense cleaned ours.
Oh, my God.
Need like 3 dude wipes.
So
to get
yeah,
his-
so he got an endorsement out of it. It's the only thing he'll ever be known for.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he was a former Cleveland Brown.
yeah,
Oh,
he probably
odds
was.
are pretty high.
Yeah, let's do that. But
Dude wipes.
was there
Crappy
any
Jet
other
players and
asshole-related
Browns.
news that we dealt with this week? Sadly, there is.
There
Because
is.
It's on the
Asshole
outline.
news is all over the
Mike,
place.
what's the next headline?
This is when
I love when Mike reads the headlines because it's literally the first time he's seen it.
No, no, it's not. But Colorado man claims he was held 2 weeks as sex slave by a grizzly bear.
It was unbearable.
Craig accused me of the same thing a couple weeks ago.
I feel like I'm being held against my will every Friday night
I know, right?
in this fucking
His
house.
first name was Twink Johnson.
And the bear was named Phil.
For
2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. That man was just like, hey, get over here. Like,
What
I'm gonna
the fuck?
fight you.
So he basically, instead of the bear just mauling and killing him like he does with every other person,
Yeah.
he
No, I'm
says,
gonna
no,
fuck
I'm
this
taking
one.
you back to my lair.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to set you up here,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to fuck you stupid for
For 2
14
weeks.
days. 14 days. And then I'm going to go get food. I'm going to get nuts and berries, and then I'm going to play with your nuts and berries
Yeah.
while I'm gone.
Don't leave.
Yeah, stay here. Stay here.
2 weeks.
Stay naked.
I mean, yeah, that's another
Ass
thing.
propped up. Don't move.
Did they eat during this time? Did they like have meals together?
I bet they did.
He ate.
You know?
He ate plenty.
Yeah.
He ate the
Bear
hotel
cock.
that his boyfriend was fucking him at
Yeah,
for
exactly.
2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what happened.
It's
what
a
I-
hotel.
You know what? Hey, dude, when I read this story, I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, this dude's just trying to
This
get
dude was
away.
getting banged by his
He was
boyfriend at the
getting
hotel.
But at the end of the fucking story, it says that the forest cops there, they fucking went out and fucking
Found a
hunted,
bunch of rubbers in the woods.
they hunted down this fucking bear and killed it.
Well,
Really?
Yes, that was the last line in
Of
the
course
fucking
they
story.
did. Because they were like, don't be fucking off town
I mean,
folk.
2 weeks. I don't know, man. But how does this happen?
Explain.
The guy was out there in jeans, right? Come on, he's out in the woods. He's got to have jeans on. First of all,
Well, he's got those pull
what he was like.
He's got
what he-
track pants
Yeah,
on. He just
yeah.
rips them
It's like, oh, this bear's got me. I better take my pants off. I'm done.
I'm done.
How did
Yeah.
this happen?
Well, this explains Yogi, though. He just had a basket full of roofies.
I'm better than
I
the
just
average
love
bear.
when this news actually got out there that the Republicans immediately blamed a black bear.
Oh shit!
Oh my
what
god!
the fuck?
I'm just trying to picture this guy with Stockholm syndrome, just hanging there. He's like, "Well, the bear meant well."
Yeah.
He's really just lonely.
He hasn't clawed my face off yet.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
he just wants to make love to me.
That's right. And when he puts his 6-inch talon into my rectum,
Oh, is
he
that
does
what you're
it with-
calling it
he does
nowadays?
it gently.
Yeah, he's nice about it.
And he always brings food. There's a bunch of trout.
Oh, fucking!
Trout
you guys,
and blueberries just fucking flopped around the fucking.
And he's just waving him with a palm frond.
What the fuck?
you guys think Amazon has grizzly bear costumes?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm thinking is
Hashtag get Mike laid.
this motherfucker has to live in the middle of the woods with fuck. Because if the rest of his family is gonna look at him like, oh really?
Oh, you got
like,
fucked in the ass by
that
a
bear
bear.
was fucking you for 2 weeks. That's terrible.
I have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to cheat on my wife, but if I would,
It would be with a fucking.
I wouldn't be making up a story about getting raped by a bear for
What
two
the
consecutive
fuck?
weeks.
But you know what pisses me off is I really do think that this guy was out fucking getting banged
do
by
you think he
fucking
got
fat
fucked by a
fucking
bear
guys.
too?
No.
Yeah, in Provincetown. Yes.
Yeah, Bronson.
Yes, he was.
The thing that pisses
The
me
bear's
off.
name was Butch.
Yeah.
And this,
This was
and,
the first grizzly bear to wear a leather fucking thong. Studded.
and they shot him.
Even Provincetown has its limits.
There's a fucking there's a grocery store in Pennsylvania. Like, where's the delivery?
Oh, what the fuck? Man.
Oh my god, fuck this.
Fuck,
One
man.
more headline.
All right.
We got one more. Craig, bring it in.
Yeah, there is another headline about the insane clown posse and Fred Durst. And it's kind of funny because nobody gives a fuck. So we got any housekeeping to do?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
All right.
We do. I couldn't agree more, by the way. All right. First of all, we haven't done this in a while, but I want to throw some shouts out to our friends at the Damaged Goods Network. It's been a while.
Yes.
We did some recording for them
Yeah, we did.
across the board this week, and we got reminded of just how many talented people we work with
Yep.
and how many great people we work with.
Yeah, we do.
So I want to throw a few shouts out. So first off, we got to throw it out to the flagship.
Yep.
Okay, the Damaged Goods Network is named after Damaged Goods the show. So I want to throw it out to them. If you like three guys sitting around talking about nonsense and you just don't think we record enough, these are the guys you want to go to.
Yeah,
All right?
exactly.
And so over there, the Golden God, Fireball, Jesus, and Sith Lord go in different directions than we do, and they're fantastic doing it. And they're all from Jersey.
Great.
So
Yep.
if that isn't a sales pitch, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
Then we also got Daddy Issues, which is the XX chromosomes of this network, and we're glad to have them.
Yes.
All right, so
Absolutely.
Shade and Lily, and maybe Shade and somebody else. I
Yep.
don't really know what's
Possible.
going
We don't
on
know
there.
what's going on.
We got some.
But
Maybe
daddy issues will move on.
Daddy Issues lives.
That's right.
The name on the front of the jersey is way more important than the one on the back.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
But Shade's still there, and she's awesome. So anyway, so go
Yes,
check
she
out
is.
Daddy Issues. They talk about like bondage and things, and if that tickles your fancy, like it does mine, go for it.
Hell yeah.
There's Clay Time in the basement. Clay Time is currently on a daily schedule.
Yeah, he's changed some stuff up, but he'll be back.
Yeah, well, I think he'll be back to weekly soon because 15 minutes when he's doing 7.5 minutes of promo
Yeah.
is a little weird. But
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to throw a shout out to Clay personally. He's got his big show tomorrow night.
Yes, he
recording a
does.
CD tomorrow night. So Clay, it's going to make the air afterwards. But we're big fans. We love you.
Kill
good
it tonight.
Hell yeah,
kill it,
bro.
Kill it. Kill it. Exactly. There's Baked and Awake. Who doesn't want to kill it? He just wants to burn it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love him.
Steve over there is doing a phenomenal job, not only talking intelligently about all things cannabis,
Yep.
okay, but also, just
He'll lead you into some lead you off into the strange.
yeah, he's going from strains to conspiracy strange. Yeah, things are good. Things are good.
Good convo. He's
And-
got good conversation.
This is one of the most diverse groups of shows I've ever seen, and I have never been prouder to be a part of this network.
Yep.
So
Definitely
again,
awesome.
a shout out, go out to damagegoodsinc.com and you'll see all of our shows. Apparently we got a new one too. Keep an eye out for the Broast.
Yes.
That's coming out.
Right.
And that
Yep.
sounds a little dangerously close to what we do. So we're keeping an eye. But gentlemen, welcome.
Yep.
Welcome.
Definitely welcome. And I'd like all you people out there to check us out at NTS_podcast on both Facebook and Twitter, and soon to be on Instagram.
Yeah, we've been saying that for the last fucking 4
Forever.
months.
Yeah.
Forever. The line will stop soon.
But it'll
leave
be
us
there,
comments.
and it'll be under the same name.
Leave us comments at NTS_podcast.
Mike, that sounded so comfortable. It was
Thank
ridiculous.
you. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like he was getting fucked by a grizzly bear for 2 weeks.
Also, hey, check out our swag. Go to teespring.com and search for Needless to Say Swag Shop.
That's it. We named it
Yep.
comfortably too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Give us your credit card information forever.
Yeah.
And your children.
All right, and one more thing, Craig. I'm going to close out with you. Comic-Con is 3 weeks away.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks away, bro.
It's very close.
Mother
Yep.
of Christ.
Yep.
Rhode Island Comic Con. We will be there November 2nd through the 4th, hanging out, having fun, recording.
There's a good chance that the guys from Damaged Goods are going to make the trip up.
I fucking
yes,
hope so,
The
man.
Golden
That'd be
God
great.
and Fireball Jesus may be coming down. Hopefully they make the trip.
I hope they come up because if they're coming down, they're just walking into another hurricane.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We're going to be doing some shit there, though. We're going to be like, we got table games planned. We got some raffles.
Some interviews, hopefully.
Hopefully,
will
we
be-
got some interviews. That's really going to be up to the kindness of the celebrities and also just how low they are on the food chain.
Right,
Yeah,
and hey,
exactly.
look, even if we don't get interviews with celebrities, we want to get interview with fans. You know, we'll just come down.
No,
and
we're gonna interview just
Interview everyone.
regular guests to the show. Like not guests, but
let's put it this way.
Entries.
For 3 consecutive days, we're going to have the mics going, the computer's on.
Yes.
And we're going to be recording as much as humanly possible. So if you're a fan of the show, or even if you're not, and somebody's making you listen to this, come on down and see us. We'll record you. And you know what? If you think you make the show better, prove it. Come on
Yeah,
by.
exactly.
There you go.
That's it. So with that, I got nothing else to say. We said a lot tonight, gentlemen. It was good to be back with the 3 of us in
Definitely,
the
yes,
basement. This is
definitely.
where it all started. This is how it
awesome,
should
bro.
end. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig, one more time.
Needless to say, we said it.